There is one Pokemon known as the God of Creation. It is the Big Bang, the debut of the Pokemon universe. And we all have it to thank for this franchise we love called Pokemon. Now, who is this mystery Pokemon, you asked? Well, it's none other than BIDOOF. If you thought I was going to say Arceus, you know nothing about Pokemon. Now, legend has it in the past, this Pokemon would destroy teams of legendary Pokemon with a single blow. But long ago, it was nerfed, and today it doesn't even show up in the top Pokemon rankings because it's so bad. Now, you see though, I'm on a mission to bring BIDOOF back to its former glory and power. And I'm going to do all of this by having BIDOOF win an official Pokemon Go tournament. These competitors don't know what's coming. Okay, now we're a week away from Hartford Regionals, and it's time to warm up BIDOOF. Right here, this is the BIDOOF we're gonna be using to win the tournament. Now, it's been a while since BIDOOF has performed at its max level, so we're gonna take the week here to kind of train it, I guess. We'll start though, power this bad boy up to level 50, because we wanna make sure take advantage of this Pokemon to the max potential. The tournament we're competing in is actually the biggest Pokemon Go showout we've had ever. I believe there's like over 250, 300 people pulling up to compete. Okay, let's get to training. I'm literally submitting my team right now. The person seeing BIDOOF on it is probably like, what the? With all that done, we submitted our official teams and it was time for Lord Big B to retake its former glory. May 19th, 2023, we set off to Hartford for the tournament.
Do you think I'm gonna win with BIDOOF?
I think you probably have 99. No, you know what? It's 50-50. Either you win or you lose.
I'm gonna give you about a 1% odds. You can go for your second battle, but
Riley? 100%.
Yeah! 8 hours later, we finally arrived at our Airbnb for the weekend. And when we arrived, I headed to bed right away as it was a big day tomorrow. Okay guys, we have made it here to Hartford, Connecticut. We are outside of the convention center. We're about to head in, and none of these people know we're about to destroy them with BIDOOF. So let's go ahead, check out the center right now. Now, regional tournament formats are best of 3 double elimination rounds. Meaning, if I lost 2 games, I would never have a chance to show what BIDOOF is all about. But I wanted to make this interesting, so I set a rule in which I had to bring BIDOOF to at least one of the best of 3 games. You might think, Dax, you're screwed, but I had a plan. You see, the rest of my team was full meta Pokemon, so my plan was to win game 1 with regular Pokemon. Then in game 2, I'd go ahead and use BIDOOF, and whether I win or lost, it didn't really matter. Finally, if I lost in game 3, I would hopefully win with regular Pokemon and move on to the next round. But a plan is only a plan, so let's see how it goes. Okay guys, we just picked up our match slip. Our first round is against Lapras Nadeau. I hope he's ready for the BIDOOF, because we're gonna go head to head. Let's do it. After listening to the player announcement, it was time for game 1. So we head to the table, said hi to our opponent, and got into it. We started off with a bad lead into Stunfisk, and after taking 1 Rock Slide, failed to catch a Rock Slide on our own Stunfisk. So I was forced to shield an Earthquake, and they went right into Trevenant. I was spamming Rock Slides on Trevenant and was luckily able to get it low, but here's where I misplayed. I swapped into Ninetales to farm down, but ended up throwing a move instead. I lost this very crucial energy to do almost no damage. This led to me being farmed down by their own Stunfisk, and I ended up losing the matchup in the back versus Pachirisu.
Pachirisu, I can't handle it, bro.
Not sure if I could have won that game, but we definitely didn't play the best. However, even if we lost game 1, I was confident knowing my team that I knew I could win against their team. So I took a gamble, and in game 2, I didn't bring BIDOOF, hoping to win so I could bring it in game 3. And it paid off. We had a pretty strong lead and was able to answer their safe swap very effectively. After the mid game, we came in with Alolan Ninetales and was able to end up sweeping the whole game, and we took game 2. Shadow Alolan Ninetales was really strong for me in this tournament.
Yeah, GG's.
Now, as for the rules, game 3, it was BIDOOF time. My plan for BIDOOF was always to put it on the lead and get some chip damage. Then I would come in with the Pokemon in the back and farm it down. And that's exactly what I did. BIDOOF landed a huge superpower on Stunfisk, taking about 50% health, and then Medicham came in to farm. They pivoted into Pidgeot, and I threw an Ice Punch and responded with my Noctowl. I took out Pidgeot, and they brought back in Stunfisk, which I chipped with a Shadow Ball. They went ahead and took out Noctowl, and I wanted to try to farm down a Medicham. Unfortunately, though, they made a great play and brought in Trevenant in the back, and I was not able to get to 4 Ice Punches. The game ended with their Trevenant being in the red, and I was now in the losers bracket.
GG's, man. BIDOOF couldn't bring it home for me, bro.
Okay guys, we lost round one, honestly, through the first game, but we ended up pulling out BIDOOF in the end. It was a super close game. Nonetheless, we're in the loser's bracket now, which means the game should be easier, so we're gonna try to pull it home with BIDOOF. Now the bad thing about the loser's bracket is it doesn't start until 1:30, so we had some time to spare. So we walked around the venue, explored, we did some Pokemon card trades, which I had been meaning to do for a while, and we met a bunch of people, so huge shout out to anyone who came up and said hi during the event. Finally, I secretly watched my friends play their games from afar, since you're actually not allowed to stand near other players when they're playing their game. Okay guys, so we just got the losers bracket round one pairings, and I'm up against someone you guys might know. This is gonna be an insane battle. We're heading there now. This is Rise to Occasion, who is a content creator who was judging for the tournament. This was me talking to them because unfortunately my round two opponent, who was another content creator, Scrublord Dustin, didn't end up showing up to the tournament. I ended up getting an auto win for round two, but it didn't count as a win in my books with BIDOOF. To be honest, I was a little bit frustrated because I knew that the early rounds were gonna be my best chance to win with BIDOOF. Anyway, it was back to waiting, watching, talking to people for the next 2 hours before our round three started. Now, after 5 hours of waiting since my first round, it was finally time for me to start playing Pokemon Go again. And I thought I was ready, but I truly wasn't. Our opponent was Ray Sora, a super nice woman who came to the tournament to have some fun. And I knew, hearing the word fun, it was time to destroy with BIDOOF. Just kidding, I was there to have fun as well. Anyway, we went into game one with the same strategy, running the meta team first. We had a favorable lead with Medicham into their Swampert. Take note, by the way, of Swampert because I brought grass on my BIDOOF for this exact reason. Anyway, we had their hard counter on their Shadow Skarmory safe swap, and we were able to win switch pretty easily. We then landed a huge Earthquake on Swampert, and finally in the back was a Shadow Victory Bell, which Medicham had no problem taking care of. It was a very quick GG's, and honestly, I was very happy about it because I knew I could now bring BIDOOF to game two.
GG's. Good first battle. Let's run on to the second.
The plan was in motion, and we threw BIDOOF on the team. I led BIDOOF as I knew it would be useless in the back, and I was hoping she would lead Swampert again. Unfortunately though, she led Stunfisk this time, but we had Legacy Superpower on BIDOOF to handle this. We landed one and came in to farm down with Medicham, but she pivoted quickly into Swampert, which was a great play on her part, but I was also happy because I had a Stunfisk in the back. I threw 2 Psychics to grab a shield and KO, and her last Pokemon was Skarmory. So I quickly pivoted into Stunfisk to try to sweep this game. I farmed up to be sure I always had an Earthquake in case she brought back in Stunfisk, but after multiple Rock Slides and Earthquakes, we were finally able to win the game.
Whew. Good game. Good game. Thank you for that. Thank you for going up against the Lord BIDOOF.
Honestly though, huge shout out to Ray Sora for the battles, and GG's to all my opponents. I ended up losing my round 4 games to Caboose and his Dunsparce, which I didn't really have any answers for. I was fine with it though, because I knew I had accomplished what I came to do. Now overall, I don't know if BIDOOF has regained all of its former power, but I do still think it is stronger than most people give it credit for. I was actually pretty impressed with the damage those superpowers and the tackles would do to my opponent's Pokemon, but none of that matters. Because if there's one thing I learned from this whole experience, it's that having fun is always more important than winning. I can easily say this was some of the most fun I had ever had in a tournament, and I didn't even make it past round 4.
Okay, so what is people who similar?
We're out here.
Man, there's one thing this tournament has taught me, it's that the best Pokemon is not the best Pokemon. It's your favorite Pokemon. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's important is having fun. See you in the next one. Follow for this, everybody. Peace!